Okay guys, let's talk about the setup position between iron and driver. So lots of people kind of get overcomplicated with this, and I just want to talk about some of the similarities of what we are looking for when it comes to that sort of setup position. So the first thing is, when you sort of set up to an iron, we need to kind of make sure that the stance is wide enough. So I look for something around about shoulder width. And then the second thing you're looking for is the location of your ball position. So what you're trying to avoid is having a ball position which is too far back in your stance. So for a right-handed golfer, if the ball was placed too far, getting closer towards your trail foot, your right foot, this would mean that even if you're quite good at hitting the ball from here, you don't want that, because that kind of is just screaming that you're sort of leaning back to sort of strike it. So you're looking for the ball position to be anything between the centre of your stance to left of centre, coming in towards your stance. And you can move it quite far forward, but the further forward you move it, the more you'd have to move into your lead side, and the better that you'd have to move through the ball to be able to still strike the ball from that type of location. So if we understand that, that would basically mean that once you hold the club and your ball position would be, let's say, just left of centre and you've got a nice wide stance, you can see the way that my hands are going to be sitting ahead of the club head, okay, like so. Right, that would be the very much the sort of correct position in terms of the handle. In terms of my weight distribution, I might have a little bit of weight coming on towards the lead side, but again, I'm pretty evenly balanced, and then I'm ready to sort of start my backswing sequence where I can sort of take the club back, swing up to the top, and then obviously just bring the club in towards that impact area. Now, the same sort of thing with driver, right? You might kind of go a little bit wider with the driver stance, but the reason why we don't have the ball position in the centre for this is because I'm hitting the ball off the tee. So if I kind of keep the ball position in the centre, I'm now going to hit the tee rather than the ball. So what we do is we naturally want to increase the ball position towards your lead foot, okay? And then again, you can move it to an experimental position depending on your sort of delivery. So if again, you're somebody who has a tendency to lean back, you're not probably going to want to move it as far forward. If you're somebody who moves a lot, you're probably going to want to have it further forward. So there are again preferences here, but what does change is obviously the handle position. Because if I have the ball position quite far forward, you can now see the way that my hands are no longer going to be ahead of the club head, right? And that's just due to ball position, okay? Because I meet a lot of people that sort of ask questions about how the driver should sit and what should you be doing and should I be holding it like this and where should things be? And the answer to all of that is obviously very much no. So the way that your hands are going to be sitting in relation to the club head is going to be very much dependent on where your ball position is, which is why my hands are going to sit very much in this type of position here. If I had the ball position slightly further back, then you would end up looking more this way. But again, you wouldn't want that, because that would mean you're going to be hitting back on the golf ball. And that's kind of it. So same as I was saying, if I move the ball further forward now, I'm now in a nice position where I can sort of take that club back, turn it to the top, drop it down coming in towards the hit, and produce some very good results. So don't overcomplicate that setup position. Move the ball position further forward for the driver. That will change how the handle looks based upon the ball position changing. And that really is the simplicity of what we should be doing. See you soon.